Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Star Season 3 Episode 4, and the name of this episode is All Falls Down. This was a really good episode, and I am just literally at the edge of my seat to find out what's going to happen next. But we actually, I forgot to mention this in my Empire review, but there's going to be 2 weeks where we're not going to have Empire and Star because of the World Series. But let's just say both of them ended at some really good places. So we're going to see what's going to transpire when the shows come back in 2 weeks. But, yo, let me begin with this review. When we first, the first scene, Star is in the studio with Simone and Alex. You know, they're working on their, you know, they're working on their album, and we see that Miss Bruce is there with them too, and Miss Bruce goes to give Star her royalty check from her single, and they was like, oh great, so how much money did you make talking about us and shit. She opens up the check, and we see that her face is turned because she's like, oh no the hell he didn't. Maurice put himself down as a producer, and he took half of the money. And she is pissed. Next we see that Maurice is, you know, talking all this game about Karma being his club and all of this shit. I'm like, Maurice, you would be sitting around here, you know, picking the lint off your scrotum if it wasn't for Cassie giving you that opportunity to work with you. Like, but it just shows you right there the type of person Maurice is. Maurice is a snake, and we see that he's gonna slither his way to get what he wants. And we also find out about Maurice that he used to be a pro football player. He used to be in the NFL. He's even won a Super Bowl. And we see that he's actually sitting with two guys that he used to play football with. And then we also notice that Maurice looks at this woman, and, you know, one of the players was like, yo, bruh, focus, man, focus. And we come to find out that the girl's name is Megan, and then later on when Noah comes up, and she meets Noah and everything, she lets him know that she's a huge fan and everything. And you can definitely tell there's some tension between Maurice and Megan. And I'm like, what the hell happened here? We come to find out that Megan is Maurice's ex-wife. And then we also come to find out later on that when he got injured and he could no longer play football, so what he did is that he neglected Megan and started sleeping with other women. And that's what broke them up. You know, so this shit just got interesting. So we also see well, actually, a little after that happened, we see that Star comes up in there demanding her money. Maurice is like, look, I'm the one who helped produce, I produced the beat, and I put it out there, so I'm going to get mine. And she's like, oh, so you think you're going to steal from me, Maurice? First of all, you're not just stealing from me, you're stealing from my baby. And then we see that Jackson's with her, and he's like, yo, Jackson, get your girl. And she's like, oh, really? And then next thing you know, she took like she took one of the, like a champagne bottle and threw it at their table and knocked all the bottle. I was like, bottoms up. and she's like, oh, because he was like, yeah, get her out of here. She's like, she threw the damn thing. She's like, now they gotta throw me out of here. Now what? But she's like, but Star is not giving up, because Star's like, nah, I'm gonna find a way to get at his ass because he played me. But Star, in a way, you played yourself. I mean, you already know that Maurice was a snaky motherfucker, and yet you took the bait, not realizing that you literally made a deal with the devil. Because at the end of the day, you know, Maurice is self-serving, and we've seen that about him from the moment we met him. We thought he was a good guy, but later on we started to see that real snake and that self-serving quality started to take surface, and that's who Maurice really is. He's very self-centered and very grimy. So then we also get a scene with Derek and Alex. Remember, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last review I did, but the girl Olivia gave Alex a picture of Bianca. But there's an actual hidden device, and because as soon as you see it in the reflection of the mirror, there's this red light that keeps going off. So there's an actual camera that's been built into the frame. So we see that Alex and Derek have a conversation. She was like, "Where were you last night?" What Derek is doing is that he's pretty much asking around to find this dude who raped his grandma, the dude who raped Miss Ruby. And she was like, "So you still playing cop?" He's like, "No, I'm not doing that anymore." But then, you know, next thing you know, we see that Alex gets a text from Olivia about them going out for coffee and all that. And Derek really ain't feeling old girl, because he's kind of peeping that she's doing entirely too much, and she's kind of like, and he pretty much tells Alex, "You need to be careful of old girl." And the next thing you know, we see that they about to get it in, and like we see that, you know, Alex is on top of Derek, you know, about to put it down on him. And then we see in the camera that damn crazy bitch Olivia is just watching. But then next thing you know, we see she gets in the bed and starts acting like Alex, as if she's Alex on top of Derek. And I'm like, oh, this bitch is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for real. Like, this bitch is psychotic. Like, she wants to be Alex. We actually saw more and more of her crazy throughout this episode. And I have to say, like, it was somewhat reminiscent of, like, All About Eve, you know, a little bit, you know, how she comes in and she wants to be the star. You know, Olivia's kind of giving me that All About Eve tease a little bit. So then we get a scene with Maurice and Noah. Maurice lets Noah know that he wants him to appear 5 nights a week, you know, because he's the face of the club, so he needs to perform 5 nights a week. And he was like, "Yo, I wanted to take a break from doing all this performing. I really want to work on my album." He was like, "Look, you know, you are a headliner, so you need to be on 5 nights a week, and you got a contract, and that's exactly what you're going to do." So Noah finally snaps like, "What? Whoa, you mean to tell me I gave up signing with Gravity Records to come here for this bullshit? It's like I traded one plantation from another." "Yeah, you did. And on top of it, you decided to leave Carlotta for Maurice and Cassie. So you got what you deserve, Noah, because you shouldn't have left Carlotta. Because Carlotta had always had your back. And you gonna go side with Maurice, and you know that Maurice is snaky?" So, if anything, Maurice was like, shoot, he's like, freedom ain't free. So Noah's like, oh, this motherfucker really trying it. Then we see later on that Noah meets up with Star. They talk about Maurice, and she's like, yeah, we gotta find his Achilles heel and find out what hurts him the most. What's gonna really get him? How do we really hit his ass? So we see that both of them have that thing in common, that they both got a common enemy in Maurice, because Maurice done screwed over the both of them. So then we also get a scene where Andy is getting the living shit beat out of him by Mike. Oh, dirty bastard. Yeah, Mike, you will never hear me say nothing great about Mike. Oh, trifling piece of shit. Okay, well, he's beating up Andy. Cassie comes up in there, and she was like, you done messed up. You know, here it is, you not only stole money from me, but then now you ruined the relationship I had with my sister, and you think you was gonna walk back in town and I wasn't gonna find your ass? You actually thought you was gonna leave and I wasn't gonna get you? She's like, you're gonna die. And then afterwards, I'm going legit for real. You are like my last piece of dirty business. So I'm about to take care of you. And that's the end of it. And she was like, damn no. You were so talented. You had a good singing voice. You were good in bed. And you just had to go fuck it up. Well, your chances are over now. And then we actually saw, like, you know, Andy is like literally crying, you know, after being beat up and shit. And I'm like, damn. In this instance, this was the first time I really felt sorry for Andy. Because y'all know in the last season, I was roasting the fuck out of Andy. Because Andy was a real messy shithead. You know, and he was real arrogant because he came from this prestigious white family. You know, he had white parents. So he was like this black dude, but had his nose up in the air and had this sense of entitlement as if he was a white man. So we kind of saw that type of persona from Andy, the way he was coming at Noah and all this shit. But then yet you went to Noah for help when you couldn't find anybody else. When when you needed some financial assistance, you went to Noah after you was trying to do everything you could to sabotage Noah. And we're seeing that Andy has finally reached rock bottom. The second time when he was trying to escape, that's when Cassie caught him. And oh boy, beat the brakes off of him. So Mike, I'm trying to oh yeah, Derek, you definitely gonna need an army to mess with this nigga. Because this nigga is about that life. He about that violence. And he about that nasty, disgusting bullshit as to what he did to Miss Ruby. So yeah. And on top of it, he has a brand, so he's a part of a gang. So you fuck with him, you're gonna be fucking with a whole militia of them. So yeah, shit ain't gonna be as easy as you think, Derek. And then on top of it, he working for Cassie. So we definitely saw that go down. Then we actually see that Carlotta is literally losing her grip on everything going on. She's losing her grip with her business. She's losing grip with her personal life. And she's losing grip on her sanity. Because here it is, she knows the truth as to why Hyle's dead. And Andy's involvement. And she's not talking about it. She's not sharing it. Because Cotton is like one of her mom. You keep working. You need to get some sleep. And we see when she turns off the light and actually tries to get Carlotta to go to sleep, Carlotta keeps reliving the shooting. So she's not sleeping either. So it's to the point where she's literally going to have a physical and psychological breakdown. And we see Carlotta throughout this whole episode. Carlotta looked disheveled. She looked tired. She looked beat down. And I have to say, Queen Latifah, you were acting your ass off in this episode, because we even could tell by the wig that Carlotta was not having a good day. You know, it was blatantly obvious Carlotta was going through it. But they actually had this event coming up called Orange Night, which is supposed to be which is a showcase, which is in dedication to prevention of gun violence. And we actually see that here it is, you know, Carlotta is trying to, you know, pitch, you know, because it's this guy named Ryan Finch who's actually the host of the event. And she was saying that, you know, Ryan Finch can bring in a lot of people. So I'm thinking of a new idea where we can have music and multimedia can actually come together. And I'm going to call it Rhythm and Bells. And I think Ryan Finch will be great hosting it, because that's going to bring a lot of numbers. That's going to bring a lot of revenue. And it's going to be big. And pretty much he lets her know, like, look, your 6 months is counting. So get it done. Yes, so we see that Carlotta goes to meet Ryan Finch. he lets it be known he can't stand Mateo. Because he says Mateo is all for gun violence. He's all for the bullshit. And he's saying that I don't even want to... Like, it's one thing that I'm doing this event with him, but I don't want to do any business with his ass because he's a grimy motherfucker. And I don't care for him. But she tries to tell him that, look... Because at first, he was going to back out of doing the Orange show. So, he was going to back away from it because he said this is Mateo's event. If Mateo's involved in it, I don't want nothing to do with his ass. But she was saying that, well, the thing is, tonight is really special because here it is, you know, Alex is going to be doing a solo. And, you know, and I also have this new project called Rhythm and Bells that I want you to be a part of, you know, and we can actually further discuss that, you know, and it's not, it's outside of what's going on. And she was saying that this is an event that's definitely going to be geared towards you bringing in, you know, a lot of people. So he's definitely intrigued with Carlotta, and he's like, okay, you know, if you can make the night go well, you know, if Alex definitely comes out and she shows out and does her thing, then yes, you know, you definitely got me for Rhythms and Bells. But we'll definitely talk. So things look promised. So definitely Carlotta comes up and tells Take 3 that, look, Take 3 ain't performing, is going to be Alex. You know, she's saying, like, how's that new song coming? She's like, it's not ready yet. She says, well, get it ready. So then we also see in this episode, too, that Maurice tries to go to Megan, trying to sweet talk her and everything, and, you know, tries to invite her for dinner. She's like, that's too soon, but we can work towards something, but it's going to take some time. But we can just see how the way Maurice is going in. He's like, he's trying, because Megan is a lawyer, and I think she just, she has her own practice in Atlanta. So we see that Maurice is trying to get her on his side so he can make her a part of his shady bullshit. But Megan was like, oh no, I ain't doing no dinner with your ass. I'm good. So then we also get this scene too where there's these men who are pretty much about to take the Hyo's RV. Carlotta comes out there and goes off saying that I will beat your head to the white meat if you put your hands on that car. So we see that Carlotta is not grieving properly. Like, her grief is so strong that just like that she can snap. And Cotton was like, Mom, I sent them over here to come get the van. It's just sitting there. And she's like, did you get permission to do this? You need to ask me before you start doing this shit. And I was like, wow, like Carlotta is really going through it. And then on top of it, she's internalizing so much, you know, and Cotton needs to know the truth. But she knows if she tells her the truth, she's going to hate her aunt for the rest of her life. And she, even though she's mad at Cassie, she's still not going to shit on her sister. So it's like all this stuff is just building up. So then we get a scene where Alex and Olivia are in the studio because Alex is working on her song. Derek comes in and he's like, yo, you want me to take you out to dinner? And then all of a sudden Olivia's like, we can't because she actually has to finish working on her song. And I'm like, bitch, didn't nobody ask you? And then like we see that, you know, Derek is kind of like bothered by old girl, and she was like, and Derek was like, can we get some time alone so I can talk to my woman, please? And she's like, oh, okay. She goes outside of the booth and pushes the button where she can hear their conversation. And, you know, Alice is like, look, I know she's doing the most, but, you know, she just lost her sister and all of that. And she was like, look, my whole thing is that you my woman, and she's kind of coming in between that, and she's doing too much. Like, she needs to fall back for real. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I just can't put my finger on it. But something ain't right about old girl, and I just want you to be careful. And I'm like, yeah. And from what we gonna see, what's gonna happen when Star comes back in 2 weeks, yeah, Olivia about to show her royal fucking ass, and I'm definitely gonna get to that. So then, oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that later. All right, so then we actually see that Star meets up with Jackson and was like, look, I want to go in and I'm gonna break into Marie's office and I want to hit him where it hurts. And he's like, and she's like, so you in? And he's like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah, he's like, I'm definitely in for you and for our baby. So Jackson is along for the ride. So then we get a scene with Xander and Cassie. Cassie is counting all of this cash because Xander literally has her cleaning all of his dirty money to make it look legit. And she was like, man, this is too much money. Like, why won't you just let me pay you the money you lent me for the club, instead of me doing all of this stuff? He says that you doing this is paying me. And he was like, look, you know I'm trying to go legit. That's what my main goal was. Why are you still trying to, keep me in this criminal life? And he was like, well, the thing is, why are you trying to go legit? You know that ain't you. You're a thug, and you're cold-blooded. And I was like, whoa. And I'm like, because a white man calling a black woman a thug is like another new way of calling her a nigga. Just saying. So here it is. He's saying you're a thug and you're cold-blooded. And then all of a sudden he kind of grabs her in the face and kind of like gently smacks her or whatever, saying like, you know what it is. And she pretty much says that, yeah, I am cold-blooded. And you know what? I'm done with your motherfucking ass. You know what? Won't you go home with your wife with your slimy looking ass? I was like, Brandy, you better do that shit. I was like, Cassie is not to be fucked with. Because here it is, I'm thinking she was intimidated by Xander. She's not. She's ready to box his ass. And we come to find out the reason why she has all of this animosity and anger towards him, that was the love of her life. I mean, yeah, Andy was giving her good D, but she's in love with Xander. And what Xander did is that she held him down. She helped him build the shit that he got now. But yet, when it came time to make her an honest woman, he married another woman and made her his wife and left Cassie and just left Cassie behind. So here it is. All this anger is still built up, but Xander knows how to get to her. So here it is that when later on he comes back and he was like, yeah, you my rock. You always held me down and you always had my back. And that was so wrong how I married another woman over you. And, and she was saying that, why is it that you think so low of me? And, so we really see that Cassie has low self-esteem, and this is why she does the bullshit that she does. And this is why she's always going back and forth with Carlotta, because Carlotta is usually that person that tells her the truth that she don't want to hear about herself, and she lashes out. And we see that that's what got her to break down. So pretty much even, so therefore, talking about the Orange Night event, Carlotta has a moment with Bruce. Bruce already can see that she is just spent. And she was saying that, look, since High Heel's death, you just been looking tired. You need to get some rest, and I know you're dealing with a lot of pain, but you need to release it. You need to get some help. And then we also saw, like, in this episode, Simone and Mateo's wife. Mateo's wife, they have a conversation, and she was like, and she's like, why are you avoiding me, Simone? She was like, well, I told you something about your husband, and from the looks of it, you was okay with this. So how I know how you feel about me? She was like, look, I'm grateful that you told me, because it shows that you really are looking out for me. And we can definitely tell she's really is starting to like Simone for real. But she says that we have an open marriage, but that situation was not okay. So I'm glad you told me. But then she also, for the Orange event, she wants her to do like an introduction. And Simone, due to the fact that she really wasn't getting proper schooling, mainly because Otis was keeping her out of school so he can sexually molest her. You know, so she really didn't get proper schooling, and then she was in juvie and all of that. So, you know, even though she's talented, you know, she really doesn't have, you know, she doesn't have the academics or the book smarts. And pretty much her and Mateo's wife have a moment where she admits that, you know, when she first came into this country, she didn't speak a lick of English, and, you know, it took her a while before she was able to learn to read and comprehend on her own. And reading and comprehension. But then Simone was like, don't tell anybody about this. I don't want anybody knowing about me, about my, you know, my learning disability, my learning, my lack of learning ability, and my lack of being able to read and all of that. And she says that, look, if I can keep your secret, you definitely can keep mine. So we did really see that old girl really does care about Simone. And we also see that, yeah, you know, Simone, you know, and there's a lot of people, like, you know, for example, like, recently, K. Michelle, in her episode of Uncensored, she said that about R. Kelly, that you walk around with a book all day and you can't even read. So, there's some people who may not be intellectually smart, but they have great talent, and it just oversees everything. But due to the fact that they don't have that book smarts, in a lot of cases, they get taken advantage of, which is unfortunate. So then, after, you know, Kat, so pretty much at the Orange event, that's what I'm gonna talk about first. I'm gonna talk about the Orange event. We see that Mateo has a run-in with Ryan, and Ryan lets him know of his disdain with him and his, you know, support of gun violence. And then we see while Ryan is doing the announcement and he's naming all of the people that we've lost to gun violence, and then we see that Carlotta is shaken up because she just lost her husband to gun violence. And then they key for Alex to do her performance. So Alex pretty much goes down and she's doing her performance, and Alex definitely is one of the best voices in the group. So Alex was doing her thing, was, you know, really, you know, and there was a song that she wrote, you know, that she just recently wrote, and, you know, she's turning it. And then the next thing you know, that stinking bitch Olivia starts coming down the steps, and she's singing the damn song, and she's dipping and trying to out-sing Alex and all this shit. And I'm like, Alex, I know you're sympathetic to this girl because, you know, her sister died in a plane crash, and you and the sister were sitting next to each other, but you should have knocked that bitch's head off. That is so damn disrespectful. Like, that was your performance. She knew damn well that wasn't her space, and she literally came down there and was singing. And we see that Mateo was pissed, Ryan was pissed, and Carlotta. And Ryan was upset. He's like, man, this whole thing is off. I think you set me up. You know, what kind of crap is that? You trying to pull a publicity stunt or something? But then she's saying, besides, I don't even like Mateo, and I don't like what Mateo stands for, so I don't even want to do nothing, you know, that involves Mateo. But then she's like, well, Rhythm and Bells is not Mateo, it's me. This is not Mateo, this is me. This is me trying to set a new narrative. You know, this is me trying to get artists and, you know, pretty much people from the industry together around a good cause, you know, about music, about life, and about people. So Carlotta works her magic on him, and he's intrigued, and he's like, you know what, give me a call, we can work something out. So he's game to work with Carlotta minus Mateo. So pretty much after that, you know, so pretty much Carlotta pretty much sealed her bag, but then again, you know, things just go even more crazy. So we see that Star and Jackson, what they end up doing, they break into Maurice's office, and she finds his Super Bowl ring. And, you know, we see when they get back, you know, her and Jackson, she's talking about how she's gonna hack it and make some money. Dan Maurice finds her, it's like, I know you stole my damn ring, Star, give me back my shit. And we see that she's like, I ain't giving you back nothing besides you owe me. But we see that Jackson takes the ring out of Star's hand and gives it back to Maurice. She's like, look, you know, we don't really want no trouble here. Just give him back the ring back. You know, it is what it is. And Star was pissed. She's like, don't you ever take no shit out of my fucking hand. What the fuck would you do that for? He's like, look, I know what he did to you was wrong and it's fucked up, but Star, I care more about you and our child, and I don't want you to get hurt, and I don't want our baby to get hurt. You know, because he kind of was thinking that Maurice is the type of grimy bastard that probably would do some foul shit. You know, so he's, in a way, calling himself trying to protect her, and Star kind of cusses him out and was like, you know what, that's your problem. There is no fucking we. You know, besides, I'm the one who's out here hustling, trying to make shit happen. You need to fall the fuck back and know your place and stop trying to think you my damn daddy and shit. So of course they got that argument, but then later on they got back together and, you know, all was good. But then Jackson's like, look, I can really help you, Star. I got a home studio and everything, so while you going through pregnancy, you can still be making new music and all of that. You know, the world doesn't have to stop, but I'm in your corner. I'm with you. We can make this happen. So Jackson so far is showing that he is a good guy and that he really does care about her. So we see that after Cassie... Oh, wait a minute. Let me talk about this. Then we also get a shocker. We see that Maurice is in his spot, you know, doing what he does. You know, I think he's still hanging out with the same guys or whatever, chilling up in the club. Pretty much Noah walks up and he says that we're gonna need to talk. We're gonna need to renegotiate my contract because I only can do two nights per week, and then I need to work on my album. And you know, and that it is what it is. But Maurice was like, well, ain't gonna be no revisions, and you're gonna do what that contract says, and you know, there's no way around it. And Noah was like, it's not. He's like, let me introduce you to my new attorney. And then it comes Megan, and man, Maurice was hot. I was like, get his ass, Noah. And Noah was like, man, I don't know whatever you did to let her go, but she fine. But hey, she said that, yeah, we're going to revise this and we're going to work it, you know, towards the betterment of my client. And she just said what she had to say and kept it walking. I'm like, yep, that's the one that got away, because, you know, Maurice was in his feelings. And Noah was like, well, come on, she fine, you know, but I'm keeping it professional, though. You know, she's going to represent me. So, yeah, revise that contract and get back to me. And walk the hell off. I was like, wow, Noah, talk about a boss move. And that was good. So him and Star had that conversation. He knew where his weakness was, and that weakness was his ex-wife. So we see that after, and we also saw in this episode too that Carlotta, oh, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Well, we also see that Cassie goes to see Andy, and she decides to let Andy go. And she says that, look, you need to leave and don't ever bring your ass back to the A again, because because I'm going legit, but old Cassie is never far away. We see why he's walking out. Oh, Mike, old trifling stinking ass was like, yo, where you going? Hey, bitch! And starts chasing fucking Andy. Even though Andy is fucked up, Andy starts picking up and starts jetting. And the next thing you know, we see a damn car come out of nowhere and fucking knock Andy off of his feet. And then Mike just ran off. He's like, shit, the car knocked his ass out, so fuck it. He dead. He ain't living off of that shit. But we see that Andy literally pushes through after being hit by a car to get to Carlotta's house, where he died in her arms. So that literally broke Carlotta completely down. So she's also probably thinking that Cassie had him killed. But, you know, And it was like, here it is. She was trying to help Andy get away, and yet now Andy's dead, and it's not too long after, you know, Hail was killed. So here it is. She's been playing this song that Hail had produced with her and Mary when they were part of the group. I think they were called Third Harmony. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But she's replaying this song and she's crying her eyes out. She's very emotional. And then the next thing you know, we see that, you know, Cotton comes to check in on her mother. She's not there. We next see Carlotta is walking the street with a bottle of Brown, walking into the dark. And I'm like, she has completely been broken. And the question is, will she be able to bounce back enough to really make the moves that she's going to make? Because Carlotta is going to have to come to terms with everything. And I think because she was holding too much, it broke her. And the fact that she's not dealt with, you know, the grief of losing Hail. Yeah. So I'm like, man, you know. But I have to say, Queen Latifah did some amazing acting in this episode, you know, and I was so here for it. But that's what I have. So if I missed anything, put it down in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Star. So until next time, everybody, take care.